We left Nanaimo on a beautiful day with the winds forecasted at 15 to 25 knots for the first part of the day.
Laid my proposition down, laid it on the line. I won't slave for beggars' pay.
In addition to the 4 to 6 foot wind waves forecasted, there was also a 3-foot swell forecast.
Slave to learn the way, sink your ship of fools, ship of fools, on a cruel sea, ship of fools.
Fortunately, we knew there was going to be some wind, although there was a bit more than we anticipated. But luckily I had put a reef in the main before we set sail, so it was easy to just raise it and be ready to go.
When I first believed you, now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. Saw your first ship sink and drown from rocking of the boat, and all that could not sink or swim was just left there to float. I won't leave you drifting down, but whoa, it makes me wild.
Once we had the sails somewhat situated, we set our course and held on for the ride. It was pretty splashy and pretty bumpy as the wind picked up probably to about 30 knots consistently instead of the forecasted 15 to 25. But hey, it was pretty beautiful out nonetheless.
Ship of fools, sail away from me. It was later than I thought when I first believed you. Now I cannot share.
Alexa got seasick for the first time on this trip, and right off the bat I had been soaked by waves. And of course I was just wearing a little cotton sweatshirt, not really thinking it through, so finally she came up and took the wheel for a minute for me so that I could put my rain jacket on and take off my wet sweatshirt, which really helped a lot.
But from that cup no more. Oh, I could not caution all, I still might warn of you. Don't lend your hand to raise no flame atop no ship of fools, ship of fools, on a cruel sea, ship of.
We're really impressed with the way that Lolita handles in heavy weather. She sails really strong and she goes pretty far upwind, I think.
It was later than I thought when I first believed you. Now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. It was later than I thought.
We were close hauled and headed in a perfect direction right towards Garden Bay, but unfortunately we didn't realize as we were sailing into Whiskey Gulf, the torpedo and naval practice area. So we just crossed the Strait of Georgia for our first time, and it was really fun, intense, even scary at a couple times, but not really. More like maybe something might break scary. But everything held up great. It's been like a gale for the last few days, and so the seas were pretty big. And then our weather window today was that we had left in about 23 knots of wind, solid. We were headed upwind. It was out of the northwest. And yeah, you got seasick.
I got seasick for the first time in my life. Just a little green. I didn't throw up or anything, but that was a little interesting.
Yeah, we were really cruising fast. And then I messed up when I looked at the Whiskey Gulf zone. I was looking at a circle, which was apparently the center of Whiskey Gulf.
Which is where they do torpedo testing when it's active.
And it turns out that it's actually a huge part of the Strait of Georgia. And so I thought we were going to have just this one amazing tack. We had a reef in the main and a little bit of the number 2 out. And we were just cruising. I mean, we were probably doing about, when we went into Whiskey Gulf, we were doing about 7 miles an hour speed over ground. Just sailing with no engine. At first we were motor sailing, but Navy exercise, but I mean, you just can't, there's nothing happening there, and we're just stuck in this little zone. It really ruined the sail for us, as far as we couldn't tack to port because there was a reef for lighthouse islands, and we couldn't tack to we couldn't be on a port tack and head to starboard because we would have crossed the Whiskey Gulf. Yeah, and so we're heading dead up into solid 4-footers with the occasional 5 and 6 foot breaking steep, straight waves. And so then we had to turn the motor back on, which was a bummer. But it helped Alexa's seasickness.
No.
No?
No. I just went back to sleep then. So I didn't have to be up doing anything. That's one reason it helped.
Yeah, but we're here now. Another person from Nanaimo is here. They crossed with us. They did 2 reefs in the main, and I'm not sure if they had any foresail out or not. I think they did have a little maybe, but they motored the part we sailed, and we motored the part that they sailed, which I thought was kind of funny. But there were 2 boats behind us that also left out in Nanaimo from the anchorage where we were, but we think they must have turned back because it was pretty nasty out there. And especially if you were by yourself, that could be a pretty daunting task. But yeah, we set up lifelines, the jack lines, and I mean, we didn't need them, but we may have, so it was good that they were there.
And now we're gonna go to the pub.
Now we're gonna go to the pub. I'm burnt out. Oh, it took us 9 hours.